When you run CleverPsych within Australia, you get some extra features. In particular, you get the ability to claim from Medicare. How this appears is you get an extra menu up the top here. Now, you have two types of clients. One is a Medicare cash client, who is someone who pays you after a session and then can claim a refund back from Medicare. And the other type is the Medicare bulk bill, who you are going to claim for the total payment from Medicare. Now, to claim from a bulk bill client, for example, you have an appointment set up. They come along, they spend an hour with you, and afterwards you change the status to be the fact that they turned up and saw you. So they have attended, and you modify. Now, once you've done that, you can at some stage click the claim button, and the claim will be sent off to Medicare, and you'll get a statement, a DB4 statement displayed. Now, you're legally obliged to print this and hand it to your client. Now, when the bulk bill claim is sent to Medicare, it's actually not processed straight away, but it's queued up and it'll be processed at a later stage, possibly overnight. Now, to get the results of what happened to your claim, you need to go to the Australian menu and retrieve either a particular bulk bill result, but typically you say get everything back, and you then get a report back from Medicare, and it'll tell you what's happened. So, for example, the one you've just put through hasn't been claimed yet, but a previous one that was put before has been rejected because you've already claimed too many services for the item. And what happens on this one, which was at appointment on the 2nd of December, you find that the status has been changed to rejected, and you've got a message as why it was rejected. But typically you'll just get the status as changes to paid, and you'll get a note down here telling you how much you've been paid. If you don't claim for the correct fee, the fee will actually be adjusted by Medicare and you'll be paid whatever the current benefit is. Now, although you can claim, you can check your claim results, what you usually do is set your configuration so that the system can automatically check, say every night, to see what's happened to your claims. And as I say, in most cases you'll find that it's been paid to your bank. Now, that's the bulk bill claims. You also have your Medicare cash claims, and the situation's pretty much the same. You've got an appointment, they come along, they see you, they pull out their credit card and they pay you, and then you set the status to being paid. Modify the status, and then you can, the person can go off and claim from Medicare themselves, but typically what you'll do is you'll submit a claim on their behalf. So you'll hit claim, and it's sent off immediately to Medicare. In most cases, it will go straight through, but this is our test system and we've been playing around a bit. But so you can say, yes, I want it claimed, and you'll get a statement about the about what's happened to the claim. You can send a message if you want as to whatever to the actual Medicare assessor, but I don't want this anymore. Typically it'll go off and you'll get a statement printed again, which will tell you, when the appointment was and so on. Now, as in with the bulk bill, you're legally required to print this off and hand it to the client. Now, these sorts of claims on behalf of the client are processed pretty much the same, immediately, and the refund will go into the client's registered bank account. What's registered with Medicare. Now, those are the simple cases. As you'd expect, there's all sorts of various funnies. So, for example, it's quite common if you've so let's have a look at another one. More complicated. Here's another Medicare cash client. Now, it's quite common when say a child is attending that their parent is actually the claimant, not the child, and in that case you have to put the claimant's details in, including their Medicare card, and you usually want the phone number as well in case there's something wrong. However, the Medicare will use the claimant's Medicare card and the recorded bank account against that claimant to pay them. In some cases, you can put other stuff, such as if the claimant's bank account has changed, you can put that information in their account number and BSB and so on. But typically, when the parent or whatever is the claimant is to be paid, then all you need to do is put in their name and their Medicare card details. Now, there's a third type of claimant which we partially support, and that's your Veterans Affairs claimant. We don't actually support claimants by DVA clients because we have very few ourselves. However, you can still record the information here, typically their Medicare card, their file claim number, and then you can do the usual thing of when they've attended, change the thing to attended or whatever, modify it. Here we go, let's get an appointment that they attended, modify, and then you can claim using the HPOS system. So, and then you can sort of copy and paste details you need out of here into the HPOS system, although I'll show you in a moment there's an easier way to do it. Now, within the Services Australia, most of access and everything is now controlled by PRODA, which is the provider of digital access. Now, you have to set up PRODA, and you need it set up, for example, for Medicare Online, which is the claiming software which we've just shown you. And there's also HPOS, which you can use to do your own manual claiming if you want to, So, for example, with DVA, you can go in and do a claim here. But you must set this up for various other things. You need to, for example, register an organisation for which you need an ABN. In our case, it's our company which we've got registered. And you need to go through a bit of pain to put in information about your company or organisation to get it accepted by Services Australia. And then you have to register members of your organisation. In our testing environment, it's just me, but you might have 2 or 3 psychologists or whatever working in your organisation. And each registered user has an identifier. Your organisation has an identifier, and that's the members. You also have to register something called a B2B, business-to-business device. In our case, what we usually use is the actual name of the computer, which also appears up here. And once you've set up Proda with this organisation, you have to tell CleverPsych about it. So you go into the Australia menu, you give a key store password, which can be, say, 6 characters or anything you like. Then you have to put in the Proda organisation number, your psychologist or whatever member number, and you also have to activate the device. So if you go into B2B devices, you have to choose the device you want and then generate an activation device code. You'll get a code appears, and then you go back into CleverPsych and enter the actual activation code that you've got there. Now, devices stayed activated for a few months, but every now and then you have to redo this device activation thing. It's all a requirement by Services Australia, which is to say Proda. Now, all this stuff's described in the CleverPsych Australia manual, and the Proda stuff and so on. There's on Services Australia, there's some videos telling you how to do all this, and if you really get stuck, you can ring up Services Australia and they'll help you do all this. Now, within the Medicare claiming, Medicare has lots of rules, and the thing to know is that the Services Australia said it's up to you to know what the rules are, and you've got to do the right thing. Now, in particular, one of the major things you'll find is that there's a certain number of sessions you can claim per year. It's typically about 10. Recently, it's gone up a bit with COVID. And there's so many per year. There's also so many you can have for your current referral. Now, these figures are a bit artificial because it's a test environment, but typically your maximum annual appointments will be 10, and you need to put this in for each client. Now, it's not fixed because one of the things you have to be a bit careful about is if you get a new client, you need to check that they haven't had any sessions already with someone else. And the system will count how many you've had total, how many you've had within the current referral, and how many you've had within the current year, and it'll let you know if you've hit the extreme. And when you hit the extreme, then you either either have to change the client type to private or something for the rest of the year, or pro bono if you're going to not charge them, and so on. So CleverPsych helps you keep up with the Medicare rules. It also does a lot of other checking. So, for example, typically if you're a psychologist, your client is going to go off to their doctor, get a medical health plan and a referral, and you put in the names of your referrals here. You can define them here, and the referral has to have his provider number in here, and you have to put it in here. You have to put in when your referral date started, because a typical referral lasts for 12 months from when the client first attends. But you can have several referrals type. The typical one for us is a GP, but you can have a specialist, which has got, whereas a GP referral is typically for 12 months, a specialist is typically for 3 months, and you can have non-standard referral where the GP can say it's for 20 months or something. You can have an indefinite referral if the GP says that, so you in fact don't have an expiry at all. You can have an emergency appointment where somebody just rolls up in desperation. You can see them once. If they turn up and say they've lost their referral on a new client, you can see them once. And there's various other things around. Now, there's lots and lots of rules. CleverPsych helps you meet them, but you can also look it up, and we have things here to help you look up stuff and interface to various websites. So, for example, there's a way to get onto the MBS site. Now, MBS Online is the Bible. You need to know what's on there so you know what some of the rules are. And so, for example, these sorts of things, as you choose it, you actually get information down here which is actually copied for you. So to go into the MBS Online site, this is the website address. So if I go over here and I've got a new place, I can put it in here, and all I have to do is paste. I don't have to copy, because what's shown down here has already been copied. So where are we again? So we've copied that in, so we can do that, and it takes me straight to MBS Online. Now, MBS Online you can search. So for here, for example, in the wherever it's gone, let's get it again. MBS Online. So, for example, if we want to find referrals requirements for psychologists, what you want is this note, MN 6.3. So I can go over here and search, and all I have to do once again is paste because it's already been copied in over here. And now you go over here, search, and where are we? Here we are. It's MN3. It's note this, and there's our note. Now you can do it yourself. You can search, and but this is a quick way of finding what you need to know. One of the first things you also need to do is search for your provider number. Your item numbers. So for psychologists, this is the our standard item number, and this tells you all about it, what you'll be paid, $128.40, and various things. And you can also look up the other items, and this also tells you notes that you can look up as well. So the MBS Online is all the stuff about your claiming, which you need to know. Now, if we go back here, one other thing you need to do when you're setting up is to you need to set up here the item numbers that you use. Now, the system comes with a whole lot loaded up, but basically these item numbers are all in the form of the item number, then Medicare, so you know it's a Medicare one, and then a description of what it is. So this is the 1 hour psychology sort of appointment that we use all the time, and you need to edit this, which you can do from the config, edit the service number list. And you need to go through and put in the ones you need, throw away all the ones you don't, and leave some other things for your insurance claims. And if you're doing Veterans Affairs, those items as well. So unfortunately, there's a bit of setting up to get everything to work. One other thing you have is if, for example, you have a Veterans Affairs client, instead of you can claim for these claims, and in fact for any claim, by using HPOS. If you go into the HPOS claiming area, you can copy and paste information out of here into the claims forms, but you can also use facilities here. So, for example, if you want to submit a bulk bill claim via HPOS, you can use this, or a DVA claim via HPOS, you can use this. And what happens in these sorts of forms is, as you select stuff here, it gets extracted and copied down here. And as before, anything that shows here is already copied, so you can just go work your way through and paste it into the claiming website as you go. Other things, well, I guess that's the basic introduction. Once you get it set up, it's pretty fast to put in a bulk bill claim, or put in a claim for your people who are paying you. And it's all described in the Australia manual that comes with the system.